Welcome to Face on Channel 1 Television. The House of Parliament has resumed sitting today, and the people who guide MPs in a lot of the ways they do, if you know the structure of Parliament, we have the whip system. And so today we are having a conversation with a leader of the House, who is also the whip on the majority side, to understand what is the House returning with, what are the key policies and plans that the government is planning to lay before the House, and what are the activities scheduled for this particular period. I am Umaru Sanda Amadu. I'll introduce my guest after this.
Calling all farmers, agribusinesses, and innovators, this is your chance to shine. Channel 1 TV invites you to exhibit at AgriFair 2025, one of Ghana's largest agriculture exhibitions. From Friday 20th to Sunday the 22nd of June, the A4 Sutherland Children's Park in Accra will come alive with the very best from Ghana's agribusiness sector. Are you a farmer with fresh produce of any kind? Be it crops, livestock or poultry, fisheries or aquaculture, or you're a supplier of agro inputs and processing machinery, this is your platform to connect with the world. AgriFair 2025 is more than an exhibition. Showcase your fresh produce, share your expertise and experience, and grow your business. So, to all farmers with fresh produce, livestock or poultry, fisheries or aquaculture products, come, sell, network, and expand your business. AgriFair 2025, where culture meets innovation. Register now to secure your spot. Call us on 0205 973 973. Come one, come all. Enjoy the freshest farm produce at unbeatable prices. And treat yourself to sizzling kebabs made from beef, mutton, pork, chicken, and more. Great taste, great value. Don't miss out. The AgriFair 2025 is powered by Channel 1 TV with support from 97.3 CDFM and is proudly sponsored by Exim Bank, Legacy Crop Improvement Center, and Development Bank Ghana.
Life is a celebration of moments. Big and small.
The sun is scorching, I'm feeling the heat.
With Piva Drink, every moment becomes a refreshing celebration. From the beach to your home, in every corner of your world, Piva Drink adds a burst of refreshment.
Give me Piva cocktail and tangerine.
Celebrate every moment with Piva Drink. Refreshment for every occasion. Piva Drink, a taste you will love.
P for Piva.
This advert is FDA approved.
My guest is from a constituency named after a mountain, South Dai. Okay, oh, Dai is a river. Forgive me. I thought Dai is a mountain.
No.
Okay, then let me.
It's a major river from the Togo Atakra mountain ranges.
Okay, I have been
just like the Uti.
I have been corrected. The Honorable Rockson-Nelson Dafeamekpor is MP for South Dai and Majority Chief Whip. I actually thought Dai was a mountain. Thank you for this education.
No.
I would have misled people.
It's a major river that flows from the high mountains in Agu area in the Republic of Togo. But the mountain range is called, it's actually Mampong.
The range.
Togo Atakra ranges.
Oh.
It's a V like this, those who know geography very well.
Oh, so your brother, the Minister for Roads, he is from a mountain constituency.
That's Adaklu.
So that's
Adaklu.
So that's what challenge confused me.
That's Adaklu.
Yes,
Hillock.
Adaklu. Okay.
So if you get to Hohwai, you see that Dine better because it cuts Hohwai into two.
So the river is called Dine.
Dine.
Okay.
So, but it empties its waters into the Volta Lake.
Before the dam or after the dam? Before the dam.
Before the dam.
Okay.
No, after the dam, actually. In my constituency.
Okay.
Yes,
so when the flooding happened, for instance, did it affect your constituency?
Yes.
So you are a low-lying constituency. You are not a mountainous constituency.
I'm straddled between the mountain and the lake shore.
Okay.
And so it was our side that got flooded before the spill happened.
Interesting.
You know, if you understand the damming system, when it rains and it fills the dam, it floods. So all the low-lying areas around the lake shore will get flooded.
So
including buildings.
So for purpose of geographical lessons, if I were traveling from Accra to Ho and I use the Juapo-Atimpoku road,
yes.
Are you on the left side of that road or you're on the right side?
I'm on the left side,
so you are
towards the lake.
So you are towards Dambai, as in like the left. So
yes.
as Ikuma Junction, you take left.
Yes, so
that goes to your place.
As soon as you get to Askuma, then you are entering my constituency. I share boundaries with the soldier mine.
Oh, you are that close. I actually thought you were a bit farther.
No. So as soon as you leave Askuma, you enter Peki. And Peki is the hotbed of my constituency.
Which means that the place they plan to do the station for the train in Mpakadam would be close. You go through your constituency before you get to Mpakadam, even though it's in a Sojaman, but you go through part of Peki.
When you get to Apegusu, after Nodu and after Joapon, Nodu and Abuasa, you get to Apegusu. Right at Apegusu, you have Mpakadam Junction. It takes you, it's about 16 kilometers to the lake shore. That's where they are building the.
So aside Peki, what major towns are in your constituency?
Bebe is my district capital. Okay. Then you have Tongo, which houses Gemini, the biggest periodic market in the world.
Gemini is in your constituency?
Yeah, that is my
Gemini
World
Toko.
Bank.
Gemini Toko.
No, it's Tongo Gemini.
Okay, it's Pando Toko.
It's Pando
and then
Toko.
Gemini, okay.
Gemini is Tongo.
Then
you have Pali traditional area. They have like 9 towns, making up the Pali traditional. Peki has about 11 towns, making up Peki. Beve is the capital, and Tongo. Tongo too has about 12 towns.
Thank you for the lesson.
Pleasure.
We were supposed to talk about that thing, but I've just gotten some.
But getting the basis right.
Yeah, I'm happy that we've got that. Yes. So let's talk about your whipship.
Yes.
You became a whip not long ago. Yeah. I mean, when you started this parliament, you had a whip, and then you took over after he got nominated as a minister. That's correct, right?
Yes.
So you are very fresh.
Yes.
How has it been for you?
It's been tough. It's a new experience, but none that I'm not accustomed to, because like anybody will tell you, I had the opportunity or privilege of doing what you may call the apprenticeship. So even when Muntaka, our longest serving whip of record, 10 years, 2013 to 2017 or 16, I should say, and then 2017 to 2021, and then 2021, 2023. So 10 years as whip, both as a majority whip and as minority. I got the opportunity to do some work with him. He had a team of us young men in parliament that, in opposition, you needed to have some structures to be able to do what we do in politics.
You're operating the back.
Yeah, and
we could see you on TV.
We were about 7, myself, Muntaka, Mutala, Sam George, Edward Bauer, Suleiman Yusuf, Enes Nogwe, John Jinapo. Yes, they occasionally will have a dongo to champion some financial advocacies. So
you're managing the rare side of the house for him.
Yes, and also sharp boys, sharp shooters on like very major subject areas. So Sam George, communications. Edward Bauer Energy, Dongo Finance, UCIF Trade and Investment Matters, Mutala Youth, General Politics, myself Law, General Politics, then Suhini, General Politics, Land Matters, Natural Resource Matters, and Snogbe Energy, and Defense and Interior, Procurement Matters,
procurement.
So he assembled us like that.
So you've been learning for a while now.
You know, that kind of team, we're not doing regular things. Because when we are adjourn, for instance, and everybody goes home, you meet, you strategize, you think through matters. Perhaps in anticipation of business to be taken.
Like how to occupy the majority side in the 20...
those were things that were done at the spur of the moment. These are not things you sit and plan for. Yes, but when you seize opportunities at the spur of the moment, you engineer those things.
The whip
so
system...
after that, then when the change came, then Honorable Agboja became the replacement. You know, Agboja and I, people even confuse us.
You are twins.
Like you have done now.
So many times.
So he's my big brother, right from Mauli School and here. So
okay. You went to Homauli together.
Yes. So he was my senior by far. So here it took me as a younger brother. We relate well. And so I also continue working with him as the whip. So naturally, when I became the whip, difficult job, but I'm accustomed to, you are the chief disciplinarian, chief welfare officer,
chief mobilizer,
chief everything.
Organizer.
Yes, when MPs have problems, they have to fall on you to solve the problems, whether here or in the constituency. Everybody calls the whip.
So you are like the chief of staff of Parliament.
Yes, on the side of the caucus. So the way a parliament works, being the majority chief whip, others call government chief whip, you are the fulcrum of nearly every government, every official activity here. So
are you the one in charge of operations on your side?
Yes.
While the leader is in charge of what?
Leader is in charge of policy direction, general discipline. That's why you see that Honorable Mama Yariga is more measured.
He's diplomatic.
Yes.
But you are the one who carry
But
chairs.
Well,
if need be, you carry chair and beat someone.
That you see, sometimes in constituting a team, the leaders look for certain qualities. Yes, they saw Ayariga, you know. He's a young man, but he's very experienced in national politics. He got into national politics very early. If I tell you the number of ministries he has held the portfolio as minister, you'll be surprised. Yeah. A lot of people didn't know that he was even one time Minister for Education. Who didn't know? Environment.
He was Deputy Education Minister.
Environment, sports, information. You know. And I think trade also.
You know, at the time, information and communication too went together.
Yes,
he
exactly.
did trade.
And he was also presidential spokesperson. You know, so he's senator, and today is the leader of the house. So he's a diplomat. You know, but he's a sharpshooter.
But when you are a whip for an opposition party, it's easy to mobilize, carry placards, demonstrate, stage walkouts, shout from the place, confuse ministers, heckle people. But when you're a whip in government, it's a different ballgame.
Absolutely. So I bring to bear on this present portfolio experiences of being an operative and under system. When you are a whip for government, your modus is different. Different in the sense that your interest is ensuring that government business gets done. Under any circumstances, it's not delayed, because when it is delayed, it hurts government. So you talk more, you engage more, you are more conciliatory, and also especially getting your back to back you, getting your back to support you always on the floor is one of the most difficult. Because if you're back, they have sentiments expressed and sentiments not met, not resolved, issues not resolved, you can have some difficulty.
One of the major sentiments would be the fact that you have excess MPs on your side as a government. I mean, I'm not using that in a derogatory term.
I agree.
But when your candidate promises to give only 60 people a ministerial position, and mostly MPs are the ones who benefit from ministerial positions, then you have a lot more of quote-unquote idle or hungry MPs. Now, dealing with that is a big problem for you, isn't it? Even more than...
I disagree with the earlier part of your submission, where my MPs are not hungry.
Okay.
They are not idle.
Okay.
And they are not
they are not jobless.
They are not jobless. They are not surplus.
You are the ones saying
yes, because when the flag bearer, now President John Dramani Mahama, promised to appoint only 60 ministers, and he compelled Dr. Bawumia to also volunteer 50. We took that up as candidates, respective candidates in the various constituencies, and campaigned with it. I can say without equivocation that that kind of promise also endeared him to the people and led to the massive vote turnout, because they saw that if somebody could do 125 and you are saying you could do it with 60, then we must as well give you the opportunity for us to see. And so it came to pass that even instead of the 60, now he's actually working with 56. So yes, it means that I have a lot of MPs. And mind you, we are still in courts over a couple of seats that we are fighting to recover.
You even want more?
Yeah.
When you are not able to feed your flock. We
are feeding our flock.
You are bringing hungrier mouths.
We are feeding our flock, and we are managing them well. When the voters give you a mandate, you don't take it for granted. Under no circumstance would you say that I have too much, because numbers in Parliament is like a raindrop. It comes in one by one. It is the numbers that will give you a majority or a minority. So if you don't get enough MPs, that will be more than half of the proportion in the House, then you are in a minority.
Currently, what are the numbers like?
We are 187. 183 NDC solid, unadulterated. Then we have 4...
Borrowed?
Not borrowed. People who are caucusing with us.
Independent MPs?
Yes, who are. And once you caucus with us, you are aligned with us. In any case, it was caucusing by the MP for Formina in the 8th Parliament that tilted the balance of power in that Parliament.
So you are officially currently 187 NDC MPs?
Yes. NDC
and the NPP side is how many?
They are 88.
88.
Yeah. One outstanding.
So which one is 2/3 majority?
2/3 majority is 184.
Oh, so you have gone beyond 2/3?
Yes.
Oh, so you can do anything you want in the House?
Yes. We can turn a woman into man in this House.
I have said somewhere that what we have in Parliament now, it's okay. So the Constitution says Parliament shall not pass a law that makes the House one-party state.
Yeah, exactly.
But you are actually one-party state now.
It is the people. You see, the Constitution is the people's law. That's the sovereign people. They hold the sovereign power. So they can decide to create a one-party state.
Even though the Constitution...
Using the Constitution.
Yeah, so, okay.
But the Constitution won't frown on. When the people decide to vote only one party into Parliament, they have done it.
You can't do anything about
Yes, but that is not wrong. So now the danger that the NDC faces, for me, from where I sit, is how we manage this mandate, this absolute mandate.
Scary mandate.
It's very scary. If we manage it well, we'll be here for a very long time. But if we don't manage it well, and it slips through our fingers, then we'll have ourselves to blame.
Would you say you are managing it well so far?
It's never happened. Yet we have all been shocked by the numbers. I have. I know that we're going to win. But I was looking at around 150, 155. But the numbers have shocked me.
So election night, and we, from what we do, we got a lot of the... I'm sure maybe of course you have your system. So, but when the results kept coming through, at a point it didn't look funny anymore. And up to now, it's still, it sounds for real or surreal. It feels surreal. That this is the election results that have been returned. Yes,
that's beyond belief.
Presidential votes are big, but Parliament, that is like.
And I want to say this for the record.
Bernard said it was a bad bloodbath.
Yes, and I want to say this for the record that, but for some skirmishes, some latter-day attempts to get certain seats, toyed with, would have been in excess of 195.
So you think you have some more MPs, outstanding seats that you could have?
There are some seats. Are you aware there are some seats we lost with like 30 votes? Seats that an MPP used to win with like 10,000 votes. You understand? Like the Tema Central issue. Seats that they used to win 13,000 votes, 14,000 votes. We won it, but there were skirmishes. Today, they are here with just 55 votes. It's part of the reason we're in court, because pink sheets clearly have been tampered with, just to be able to whittle down the difference. Look at Abdulkumanov, like a stalemate forever. He is totally clueless, unable to declare for MPP or NDC. It's such an...
The MPP was blamed for what happened in South. You guys, the NDC, would take the blame for what is happening in Ablekuma North if they never get representation for the next
Why
voice.
would an NDC take the blame for what happened in Ablekuma?
Why did MPP take the blame for what happened in South?
This was an electoral commissioner that the government permitted to issue a statement on the night before the day of the election, nearly 11 p.m., before daybreak 7 December, and said, in the elections that will take place in Sal, there will be presidential elections, but there will be no parliamentary elections. And as a responsible government, you allow an electoral commission to do this.
In Ablekuma North, your party members are accused of destroying the party, the electoral material, burning down places.
I think it is I think you may have to go back. It is rather the NPP we have accused, because we were leading. They bent the center down. How would I be leading an election and get results bent? Why?
They say it was you who did that because you were losing.
Even with all the issues, we are still leading, for the record. That is why we are making demands that it be declared, because there are remedies provided under law. If you go to Article 95, which deals with the removal of Speaker, 97, which deals with the circumstances under which a member will leave the House. There are also provisions that says that where results are declared and you are aggrieved, there are remedies and the timelines within which. So if they declare and the NPP is aggrieved, they know what to do. But the Electoral Commission, as an independent constitutional body, cannot hold everybody in abeyance.
So you're saying that despite the numbers you have, you're still going to fight for more?
Because that is what the people have given us.
Satisfying them, though, your MPs. We hear that there's a lot of grumbling on the corridors of Parliament from your side.
From whom?
From your MPs who are saying that
the opposition can put those stories out. But me as the whip, I am here to hear that there's grumbling. Every MP is very happy. Committees have been formed.
Alex Apenyomakin said very soon they will not come to Parliament, your side. You say very soon you will not see
you must
them
understand Apenyo's politics. Apenyo's politics is a politics laden with mischief. He throws out things. He says things that may cause apprehension among our base. But when you check, when you verify, when you fact check, you see that they turn out not to be accurate. For instance, what he's saying, that he wants me to say the things that are happening behind his own back. But I can't fact check it, so I don't go public with it. My 187 MPs, we are in the process of putting those who have not been appointed as ministers to serve on statutory boards, as is the practice. And you will see that a lot of boards are being inaugurated with MPs having the privilege of serving on those boards as part of the exercise of oversight. As part of the MPs you brought to caucus with you,
is it Gomwa West, the Honorable Asarabin,
yes,
A+.
Kwame.
Recently, he engaged in a public spat with the Attorney General, a leader of your side.
Yes.
There are many people who think that you are dining with the devil by caucusing with him. What's your defense of him being on your side?
You see, to say that we are dining with the devil will be a below the belt description. It's difficult to normally, if you understand politics of parliamentary caucus, when somebody is independent by the strictures of law supposed to caucus with you, there are caucus etiquettes. So it's a freshman. We've had engagement with him. He appreciates the dynamics. He's coming along very well. He's such an important figure of our caucus, I have to tell you, because he is a strong advocate. So my leader has engaged him. I have personally engaged him. We have engaged him together. Other leaders of the party have engaged him.
So we won't see him go on social media and call the Attorney General, any leader of yours, or even
I
member
don't.
In the words
so.
he used
I don't think
again.
So. Even if he has.
You're sure you can tame him?
Yes, because you see, there are remedies for relaying misgivings within caucus, without necessarily being extraneous about it. So we've informed him about those processes. If you feel strongly about the conduct of another caucus member, and Dr. Aini being the Attorney General, but he's also a member of the majority caucus, if you feel that a colleague of yours in the same caucus has hurt you in a certain way, we have leaders. I'm there. My leader, the ultimate leader, is there. Speaker, who is the father of this house, is also there. You can take those matters up, and then engagement could be.
Has he signed a book of good conduct like they do in certain
but there's no need for such things.
But he has promised you that...
But we have code of conduct for MPs.
No, but has he promised you that we will not see this again?
No, he promises that if he has issues with any colleague, he knows the appropriate quarter to.
If he goes the other way like he did this time around, would you expel him from the caucus?
I don't anticipate that he'll do that.
But if he does?
I don't anticipate that.
Are there penalties which include expulsion?
There are disciplinary proceedings within the caucus, so those will apply.
This is Face to Face on Channel 1 Television. My guest is the Majority Whip and MP for South Dai, the Honorable Rockson-Nelson Dafeamekpor. We'll come back and talk more about what Parliament is intending to do now that they have resumed. Please stay with us.
Is it the luxurious rooms? Or the serene green surroundings? Is it the tempting swimming pool? Or the classy conference room? Or the cute gift shop? Maybe it's our chef's array of cooking delights. Whichever way, it's all about Cactus Creek. A most respected hotel. 055 039 5007.
Welcome back. This is Face to Face on Channel 1 Television. I am Umaru Sanda Amadu. My guest is the Majority Whip and MP for South Dai, the Honorable Rockson-Nelson Dafeamekpor. Esquire is at the end of your name, so it's only proper that if I interview you, I should ask you, even though you're in the legislature, I'm sure you're monitoring what's happening in the judiciary. They say you are trying to remove a Chief Justice, that you are a party that is being dictatorial. The Chief Justice herself wrote and said what is happening, it's not justice at all. As a member of the bar, which is part of the judiciary, what do you make of what's happening there?
I've hardly made public comments on the matter since it erupted. But you see, the Constitution remains the gronom for purposes of governance. And clear provisions are made. If you are a Chief Justice or a Justice of the Superior Court or Judicature for that matter, or a Justice on the lower bench, which is the Magisterial and the Circuit bench, if you conduct yourself in a certain way and manner, and a party is aggrieved, and the party files petitions for certain things to be done, procedures are provided as to how it should be done. So let me cite two instances. The Chief Justice herself, as the Chief Disciplinarian of the Judiciary, even though the Disciplinary Subcommittee of the Judicial Council handles such matters, she takes the final decision. She herself sanctioned a judge on the circuit bench when a petition was brought by a party against the conduct of that judge. What did she do? She opened the law books and found a procedure to deal with that matter. She followed the procedure. First, sanctioned the judge. When the disciplinary proceedings were concluded and adverse findings were made and adverse recommendations were made against the judge, she proceeded upon those recommendations and dismissed the judge from office. That such a person ought not to sit and administer justice.
Which court was this? Which circuit?
This is the Judicial and Circuit Court.
Okay.
Not too long ago. That judge felt aggrieved by the procedure or the ultimate dismissal of himself by the CJ from the Judiciary. So he went to court. That matter is still in court. Now, other persons felt aggrieved by the conduct of you, the Chief Justice. They have filed a petition. The law also provides that when such a thing happens, such a circumstance arises, the person who is supposed to take action, it's all defined. In respect of the circuit judge, the person who was supposed to take actions, statutory actions,
Is the Chief Justice.
was the Chief Justice, and she proceeded to exercise those powers. In this matter, in her case, the entity that is supposed to exercise those powers is the President of the Republic. And the man is exercising those powers, and you are all over the place. To the extent that you are saying that he doesn't even have the power to exercise, first of all. So, who, respectfully speaking, will have to act? When I bring a petition against the Chief Justice now, who do you think will act upon it in law?
Based on the Constitution?
Based on the Constitution, based on the Courts Act.
Go through the President.
Thank you. So let me.
And not just the Chief Justice.
Not just the Chief Justice. Now, when a petition is brought against a High Court judge, a Superior Court judge for that matter, who would have acted?
The Chief Justice.
You are now a student in the law, so you know it's the Chief Justice.
Thank you for testing me.
Oh, I'm not testing you. You are a seasoned journalist, so you know these matters come to you readily. It's the Chief Justice. You recall the dismissal of about 18 judges, some magistrates,
the Anas case,
some circuit judges, some High Court judges. In the Anas expose, you recall?
Yeah.
You knew the legal battles that we did in this country,
Yeah.
and yet we didn't succeed. All of them, nearly all of them went home.
Questioning the committee that was set up by the Chief Justice, talking about fairness and all of those.
We did all that.
Yeah.
I handled one of the cases. We did all that. Nick Bakpo was on some other side. We did all that. Justice Derry fought. But like she herself is one to say, the law is the law. So the essence of what I'm saying is that I am not saying the issues she's raising are not germane, but these were similar issues some of us raised when she was presiding. In some matters in court that are still pending, I remember that I appeared in court, and by way of introduction, the court clerks added honorable to my name. She shot back and said, no, here, I'm the plaintiff. They should just mention my name.
She was presiding?
She was presiding, that panel. But I didn't mention my name and you hardly will hear me say honorable Dafeamekpor. I never do that. I prefer to even say that I'm lawyer Dafeamekpor, because the law will never leave me. But I will not be here tomorrow. I'm here today. I may not be here tomorrow. So the honorable thing, I don't. It's not something I fancy, but I fancy my law title, my lawyer title.
Unless legal counsel collects your license, you are lawyer forever, but you can't be MP forever.
Oh, you see, even there, I have an answer. I remain a lawyer. You only say I cannot practice because I can't take my legal mind away. I can do legal analysis. All you are saying is that I cannot go and represent somebody in court. So the law training stays with you forever. It's like engineering. When you learn engineering and your mind is all that,
it's a skill.
It cannot be schooled from your mind.
So, but the issue is...
So leaving the generals to the specifics, I think that she should rather allow... She's acting in a manner that is presumptive of guilt.
Or rather, she's trying to uphold the law and ensure that the right thing is done, as perhaps the foremost member of the judiciary. She knows better, and she's insisting that better be done. Did you
read a recent affidavit?
Yes.
For the supplementary affidavit?
I've seen it.
Did you read the last paragraph contained in that affidavit? Wherefore I swear to this, I depose to this affidavit.
I do not remember it paragraph by paragraph, but I remember pretty much what she said in that affidavit.
And to wit, she says that the Supreme Court should resist the interference with the independence of the judiciary, because her removal means there's an interference with the independence of the judiciary. Somebody is making an allegation that a member of the bench, of the superior bench, is tainted. And you are saying that matter should not be looked into. And that when that is done, it means the independence of the entity that you had is being attacked.
But the political stories around this is not lost on us. The posturing of your party...
How did the CJ become the CJ? Was it not through a political process? How did she become a CJ? Suddenly, when it gets to a certain stage, the politics is to be blamed.
She takes a statesman role, a neutral statesman role.
What is statesman about the issues we are speaking of? There's a complaint.
A minister is appointed by the president.
Yes.
A minister is political.
Yes.
A chief justice appointed by the president. A chief justice is not political.
You see, you missed my point. I said, was her appointment not through a political process?
Yes.
It was. Mm-hmm. So when she blames politics for what is happening, I don't see it at all. Because this is a woman who has presided over a judicial panel that determines where political power should lie in this country. You think that is not politics? So politics and law, there's a close interplay almost all the time.
Yeah, but
and that is what our constitution mandates.
But the issue is around prejudice, that your side had a plan already against her. You've been fighting her from when you were in opposition. And now that you're in power,
I won't let you finish. Go and read Afenyomakin's affidavit in support of his application before the Supreme Court in December last year. As part of the deposition, Afenyomakin actually called upon the Supreme Court, which the CJ presided, within 2 hours to arrive at a decision. Afenyomakin said, if the court does not interfere in Parliament, the balance of political power in Parliament will switch, will shift.
That was an urgent matter. That needed urgent action.
Wasn't the CJ interfering in political matters at that time? somebody comes to court and say that there's something happening in Parliament, if you don't interfere, the political balance of power will shift from us to a minority who will then become a majority. So save us. We are running to you to save us without recourse to all the other stakeholders in this matter. A determination was made. And you think that she herself hasn't conducted himself in political matters. She has. So the Supreme Court can always be confronted with political matters.
So you will remove her as a party? That's your plan?
If the petition is founded, why not? So it should tell you that nobody is above. Are you aware the president can be removed? The president of the republic?
Yes.
On stated grounds, he can be removed.
Yes.
Are you aware the speaker of parliament can be removed?
Yes.
Article 95, on stated grounds.
Every person in public
Thank you
office
very
can be
much.
removed.
So no matter how high you fly, the law is above you.
But you see, but the view is that, I mean, there's even this issue about the lawyer for the petitioners being seen having dinner with some of the judges who are members of the panel, and you do know that these are things that, of course,
lawyers for who? The petitioners.
Yeah.
Have you read?
I've seen the video.
Have you read the case of Salah versus the Attorney General?
Yes.
Yes, but go and read it again. Certain details will come to you. Do you know when they challenged Justice Apalu's presence on the panel? Some of the allegations were that Mr. Salah, who was a GNTC manager, who was part of the team,
499.
Yes, Apollo 499, who was sacked. Anytime he met Justice Apalu in a GNTC shop near UAC in Mokola, he was referring to him Nyabro. So people cannot meet family members, friends in the corridors of churches and schools and shopping malls and say hello to each other. People cannot meet friends when they enter a restaurant and say hello.
You have,
but
honorable, see,
whether or no. Mm-hmm. So I want to tell you that the standards for establishing bias has been upgraded.
Yeah.
From likelihood of bias to real likelihood of bias. Now, are you saying that video, which I haven't watched it, I've heard about it, I haven't had time to really watch, I hear it was played on some other media house.
It's on social media, yeah.
Are you really saying that depicted a real likelihood of bias?
My question would rather be, you are celebrating the petition for the removal of the Chief Justice.
I am not celebrating it.
I mean, you are saying that due process is being followed. And yet,
that's all.
And yet when the petition came on the dinner, you had the gentleman arrested.
Who had the gentleman arrested?
The government.
The gentleman said there was a meeting.
Yes.
What happened was not a meeting. So he was arrested on grounds of publication of false information.
For sending a petition asking for investigation?
No, yes, but you can falsify information based on a petition. So the matter is being looked into. I don't think there's any problem with that. It's not being prosecuted. It's being looked into. If it's established that he published falsification, the law will take its course.
When I listen to critics, they say that there's a Ghana Bar Association, which is the association of all Ghanaian lawyers. Then there's NDC Lawyers Association. And that President Mahama, before he became president, told you people to try and take position inside the judiciary. And that what's happening now is you manifesting that promise that the president made, or that instruction that the president gave you at the time. You try and take over the bench in addition to the bar.
Where did you hear this? I have never heard this.
There's a lot of...
But let me tell you, I have rather been a renegade in the bar for the past 14 years or so.
The GBA?
Or 50, the GBA. Because, so as I speak, I lead the Law Society, Ghana Law Society of Ghana. Mm-hmm. I lead that as the president.
They say it's the NDC branch of NDC.
What, is the GBA an NPP branch?
No, GBA is supposed to be the Ghana one.
Good. You are saying it's supposed to. So the Law Society of Ghana is also supposed to be for the NDC. So be it. But you see, the GBA has become an association of lawyers who think that anything NPP is good, not to be critiqued. Anything NDC is bad, or to be criticized. So when you see a semblance of that pervading the system, it demoralizes some of us who are members. I remain a member of the Ghana Bar Association, but I don't remember the last time I attended any program. I lead the Law Society. Quietly, we are working. We are attracting membership. And I think that we should have freedom of association. So the Law Society of Ghana is not an NDC group of lawyers. But if that is the target, I receive it wholeheartedly. Do you know the number of lawyers who are affiliated to the NDC? They are thousands. So it means that I can be comforted that I will have over 1,000 to 2,000 lawyers joining the Law Society of Ghana.
They are trying to neutralize the bench.
No. That, you see, the association has nothing to do with the bench.
And that you are starting by removing the head of the...
I'll deal with the issue of the bench. Who politicized the bench? Between 1981 and 2000, we had one person who was leader of this country. He led as a revolutionary, then later he became a democratic leader. He was in charge of appointing persons onto the bench. His Excellency Flight Lieutenant Judicial Rawlinson. So for nearly 20 years, there were people who were going onto the bench. Even people who were his fiercest critics. They got promoted onto the bench. Who was signing the appointments? Was it not the president? Even those who got appointed as Supreme Court judges. It was the president, Jerry Rawlings, who appointed them. High Court judges, Circuit Court judges, Court of Appeal. He did it dispassionately, without prejudice. As soon as after 2000, then suddenly some judges were deemed to be NDC persons. Suddenly, after 20 years, NPP was nowhere near political power. But suddenly they decided that some judges were NDC affiliates, so they should be sidelined. Then they decided that they must now, in appointing persons onto the bench, they must look towards people who they deem to be blue. If you were not blue, you were not appointed. Professor Mills didn't do that. So if you want to speak of politicization, Justice Senyo Jamefe has been a Court of Appeal judge for the past 16 years. 16, before somebody left law school, went into practice, is now on the High Court, on the bench as a High Court judge. Senyo Jamefe is still sitting as a Court of Appeal judge. What promotional exam to the Supreme Court that he couldn't have passed? But he was deemed as he's deemed as an NDC person.
So his reason for non-promotion, the reason for his non-promotion is because of perceived party affiliation.
I am not the one who exercises those powers. But I'm telling you, these are some of the things we have picked up. So if the people who are saying that we want to politicize the bench, they have a blueprint for it. And we are not following. No NDC person is trooping to go and serve. Go and ask them. They are not even interested. I've engaged a lot of NDC lawyers within the NDC affiliates. You ask them to go onto the bench, they prefer practice because of things like this.
Let me take a break.
Yes.
This is Face to Face on Channel 1 TV. We'll be back with more. Please stay.
On Footprints this Friday, Professor Kwesi Yanka continues his story about his academic journey, his writing ability as a public intellectual, and his stint with politics.
The pen at risk. Your memoirs.
Yes.
What's the central theme? What's the takeaway from this one?
Oh, you can still make it in life, even if you started from what many would consider as the wrong angle.
And my favorite, the missing pages of June 4th.
We wanted to do a special issue on June 4th. You won't believe it. We went through all the libraries in Ghana. We couldn't get a single newspaper on June 4th. In other words, graphic editions of Daily Graphic on June 4th.
They were missing.
They were missing. This book really shook him. Meeting Jerry Rawlings for the first time at Ridge, face to face, and I had scheduled the appointment, seeking to give him a copy of this. This thing racked lots of injuries, past injuries.
Yeah.
That were reopened by just giving him this book. He opened it page by page and page by page, and instead of the 15 minutes that I was anticipating between us, the meeting lasted more than 1.5 hours.
Footprints airs every Friday at 7 p.m. with a repeat on Sunday at 4 p.m. only on Channel 1 TV.
You're welcome back. Now, let's talk about Parliament. You have resumed. Is this a sitting or a meeting? What do you call it?
It's a meeting. This is the second meeting of the ninth Parliament of the Republic of Ghana.
So you're going to be here for how many months before
we'll be here for two and a half. So hopefully we'll go back home during the first week. Either at the tail end of July or the first week after the first week of August. So that depends on volume of business.
What are the priority areas this period?
Yet, yesterday we met with the ministers. We scheduled a meeting to know their legislative activities. Not all could attend because of some other official works, but a lot came. So, for instance, if I can run through this quickly. For instance, for lands and natural resources, they have to ratify about 132 timber utilization contracts. We call them TUCs. This is to pave the way for the issuance of forest law enforcement governance and trade licenses to these companies. We are expecting that they submit this by June, ending of June, so we can use July to deal with them quickly. Then they also have to pass an LI for the implementation of the Wildlife Resources Management Act, Act 1115 that we passed in 2023. Then they have ratification of some mining leases. You know, there are a lot of mining leases. Some have been caught by a fluctuation of time and all that. Some have not been renewed, but the companies are still operating based on these expired contracts. They need to bring them to Parliament for ratification. Then we have to review the Minerals and Mining Act, Act 703. So that's to come. Then
what about the LI on mining in forests?
That is already before us.
Okay.
So that will be action.
So you continue
from about next week. It will be action. Yes. Then when you get to the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection, they have a couple of legislative businesses for us. Social Protection Bill is coming. They have then LI for the Social Protection Bill. The Children's Bill, Children's Act passed 1998. That's 27 to 8 years.
Obsolete.
Yes. So there have been developments in the children's subsector of gender issues. So we want to amend the law, incorporate, and a lot of international protocols to have been since signed. They have to be incorporated. Terms of those protocols and conventions have to be incorporated into the new act. Then the Child Justice Administration Bill. Juvenile justice. We want to actually convert it from being a part of the criminal code into a substantive legislation, which we call Child Justice Administration Law. They want to amend the Domestic Violence Act. It's also above 20 years, I should think so. It's also been caught up with, the law was enacted with a focus on violence mainly towards women. But lately, that the women too are beating the men.
Are you referring to Macron?
The women too are being violent domestically towards people like you. So want to protect you as well.
Are you referring to Macron? That's a trending one. Maybe you don't have seen that video. But
I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen the video.
Then we want to have the LI for the affirmative action law that we passed last year.
Okay.
That's
what about the bill that you and the St. George and
yes,
others,
so we are in the process of reintroducing
the
yes.
LGBTQ.
Yes, no, it's not LGBTQ. It's a family values
bill.
The Ghana family values.
They say you are afraid to reintroduce it because all the promise and noise you made in opposition, now that you have seen the reality, you will not make a law like that.
I think when people speak of being afraid, me, Sam George, I don't think they know us well. Afraid.
When would you lay the bill?
No, afraid.
When would that bill be laid?
Look, this parliament is just 4 months old. 4 months old. You know how long it took us to bring that bill to the floor to engage after 2.5 years of preparatory work. So to reintroduce a bill that has been caught by a fruition of time, somebody even thinks that we need to litigate it.
It's easy. You just need to change the date and bring it back.
But no, you don't change the date. It's not a bill. Parliament has passed the law.
That's what I'm saying.
You understand?
Okay, so no, I'm not even interested in the litigation, but I'm talking about now that you plan to reintroduce. Just take the past document, change the date, and resubmit.
Hold on. So somebody say you cannot introduce a law that has been passed.
Processed.
That's been passed legitimately. What is outstanding is assent, and there's a litigation over it. The litigation has ended. So what should be done? That is the discussion. So it's not about reintroducing something.
Even though the Parliament has expired.
You see, Parliament, the resources of Parliament cannot be wasted like that. Because Parliament's time, resource, everything is very expensive and it's precious. That time should be spent on other new legislation.
Which school of thought do you agree with? Do you think that let's give it as it is to the new president to sign and say, even though there's a new parliament or that parliament has expired, it's still a parliament?
I think somebody is litigating this matter.
Now, I want to know what your view is. So are you on that view, or you are on the view of thought that once parliament expires, everything it did has expired, let's start afresh, which is the status quo? Now,
a bill that is yet to be remitted passed, but is on the decks of parliamentary, the clerk to parliament. Can you jurisprudentially say that it died with the 8th parliament, even though the 8th parliament became functus officio?
So you're looking at it from two different angles.
Yes.
The one that has been passed properly, which was arrested on the way to Jubilee House.
Thank you.
That's different from
it is that hurdle that we must clear and get the way.
There's another one I'm interested in before we finish.
Then Minister of Education.
No, because I don't have a lot of time to. So I just want Road to.
It's here.
When are you bringing it?
Road to is to be brought back. So the amendment. So you see the calendar for Minister of Transport.
Okay.
So they have the Road Traffic Amendment Regulations, the Road Traffic Amendment Bill 2025, then the ratification of the African Road Safety Charter.
Okay.
Then Ghana Shipper. So all those things.
Give me education before we go. Education. Are you doing something about free SHS?
Yes, the free SHS bill is to be relayed because that one today brought it, but it was cut out by a fruition of time.
Okay.
So that will be relayed. But that bill is, I've gone through it. I don't think there will be too many changes before it is brought back.
You will not scrap free SHS?
Not at all.
Okay.
Why would you do that?
Honorable, Eche means you are a twin.
Yes.
So where's Achu?
Achu is fine. Achu is an engineer. He's a doctor. He has doctorate in engineering.
Okay. Achu Pleche.
Achu Pleche.
Honorable Rockson-Nelson Dafeamekpor, thank you so much for joining us on Face
It's my pleasure.
So that's the Majority Chief Whip. My name is Umaru Sanda Amadu. Thank you so much for joining us here on Face to Face.